Hello, I'm Maritza Sanchez and I lead the admissions department with the Labouré Society. And I am pleased to be here today with Jade Banks, an aspirant with the Labouré Society. So we can spend a few minutes to get to know you. Tell us a little bit about your childhood. Jade, what was it like growing up in California?
That's a good question. Well, I grew up in California and I was an only child. And I lived with my grandparents and the faith was always there. We went to breakfast together every Sunday. Mass was a very big part of our lives. And I moved with my mom down to California at 10 years old, and there was no more Mass on Sundays. And I realized that I was only living that faith with my grandparents to make them happy. And I didn't even know what that meant. So when that was taken away from me, I truly realized that I needed God. So I went to my dad's house one day, and I locked the door, got into his room, and I got down on my knees. And I said, Jesus, I need you. I feel alone. And he's never broken that promise to this day.
What a beautiful story. Now, what was your faith like before and after you took ownership of it? I know you shared being away from your grandparents made you take ownership of it. What was that like?
The Eucharist. The Eucharist is ownership to me. The moment I found out that Eucharist, the host, is the body and blood of Christ, I knew that this was real. And before that, I went through the motions, like a lot of Catholics. You know, I made the sign of the cross not knowing what it meant. And the moment I knew that was the body and blood of Christ, my life changed. And to consume him, to have him in your body, to breathe him, that is profound. And I knew that at that moment, I needed to make some changes.
What was that moment you realized that you had a calling to religious life?
That's funny. I couldn't stand when people would say, have you ever thought about being a nun? And I look at them and I'm like, what an insult. Like, I want to get married. Like, are you saying that I can't get married? Like I'm weird. Like I'm not made for like a man or something. And I just would always brush it off, And the Lord he kept poking me. And I'm just like, not now, like stop, like no. And this one moment, I'm sitting in front of this crucifix and I just start weeping. And it was like all these emotions of just joy, sorrow. I mean, you name it. I'm like, what is this? But it was beautiful. And I went home and I know it was Our Lady. She drew me to open St. Faustina's diary. Like she almost said, I'm leaving you at the foot of the cross. Read this. You'll know my son. And I open it and the first thing I read is, how long are you going to keep putting me off? And how long do I need to keep putting up with you until you realize what you're made for? I want you to be my spouse. And I'm looking, I'm like, this is beautiful. This is, no, yeah. Ooh, I kind of, no. Just so fighting this emotion within me of, I wanted it, but I was so afraid. Like, that life is supernatural. It's surreal. I look around and everyone's getting married, and that's beautiful. That's an amazing calling. But this is something that's not even a career. It's like, you lay down your life and come follow Christ. And that's a challenge, but it's beautiful.
What a great vision. You saw it, you felt it, and you knew that was a call to action that you needed to follow. Now, how will you live your religious vocation and how will you serve others? Tell us about your community's charism.
Yeah, well, I love them. They look like Mary. They wear long, beautiful blue habits. And I know I needed that because the whole reason why I came to know this was Our Lady. So their whole charism is one thing, Jesus through Mary, with the same charism of St. Francis of Assisi, that missionary way of life, but always looking for that balance of prayer and evangelization. And we're always holding the rosary. The rosary is what got me to this point, holding Our Lady's hand to get to Jesus. And it's almost like dating, you have to find that order, but when you find that fit, you just know it's either this or nothing. And I knew with them when I left that it's this or nothing because of how much they love Mary and how much they love poverty. With the true joy of, I love poverty. And I heard that by a Franciscan before, and I thought, what is that joy? I want it. Like, joy is everything. And I didn't think I could find that in this type of life, but I realized that that's the most joyful thing that I could be blessed with. So.
What a beautiful thing to show and to radiate as well.
Yeah, God's good. He's good.
Now, what would you say about the Labouré Society to someone who's interested in pursuing their vocation but is blocked by student loans?
Of course. I would always remember that one phrase, fiat. Your yes, let it be done. If you are called to be a nun or a priest, know that the Labouré is here to help you. And the Lord clearly brought you there. And one thing the Labouré keeps mentioning is it's not if you're going to be religious, it's when. The Lord brought you to the Labouré, it is a matter of when. So take courage, trust in God. I always love the phrase, Jesus, I trust in you. When I'm afraid, I think of that image of Jesus in divine mercy and those rays of love. Jesus, I trust in you. That will get you through life.
Now, Jade, how can someone reach out to you at the Labouré Society?
Yeah, well, through the many emails. The one that's most important is jade@laboreaspirant.org. And my name is Jade, not Jane or Jada, Jade, Jade.
Great clarification. It is important.
It happens a lot. So
thank you, Jade.
Of course, thank
for
you.
your yes to God's calling for being
Of
here.
course, you're the woman. Thank you.